guys, I'm Carolyn from Tranquil Mentor, and I do videos on DIYs and reviews and more. And if you like that kind of content, you'll love my channel. With that, let's get into the video. In this video, we will be crafting with these new items from the Seaside collection at DollarTree. I decided to take two of the pictures from the Seaside collection and frame them. The pictures are already framed and they both measure 11 by 11, so I cut two 12-inch pieces out of the stir sticks that I bought from Home Depot. The sticks are the 5-gallon paint stir sticks, so they're longer. I wanted a light color frame, so I did a paint wash with Craft Smart paint in the color of ivory. Next, I'm going to use my miter saw to cut the stir sticks. You can get a miter saw from Home Depot, Harbor Freight, or a local hardware store. What you'll do is line up your pencil mark under the saw blade and cut. It does help to put something underneath that is skid proof so the box won't move around so much like mine is as you're cutting. It does take some elbow grease to get this cut, but if you just take your time, you'll get this cut done in no time. We will be cutting two of the stir sticks to fit both the left and right sides of the picture frames, and those are 12 inches each. I will be using the Mod Podge with the matte finish and my glue gun to attach the stir sticks to the frame. It's probably better to use a wood glue for this, but I used what I had on hand. I also wanted to make sure I had the back of the stir sticks covered so they could endure the outdoors. There is quite a glare from the picture because when I used Modge Podge to weatherproof both of the pictures, I grabbed the Modge Podge for fabric because I didn't look at the bottle. So I think that's why they're so shiny. So we'll see how it goes. If you're putting them indoors, you wouldn't have to do this step. Since I will be putting these pictures outside, covering the back of the stir sticks with the Mod Podge will give them a good seal. But the hot glue doesn't have to go all over the back like I did here. It could just go on the one side of the stir stick that you're gluing on, or you can just put it right onto the existing frame. That will save on some hot glue. Next, I'm using these blue clips from DollarTree as my sophisticated frame clampet system. These are one of those items that I keep on hand. They're not as strong as some of the potato chip bag clips at DollarTree, but they work great for things like this. I was so excited when DollarTree got the Seaside collection in. I feel like DollarTree really stepped up their game and took a look at the new trends out there. One of my DollarTrees got the Seaside collection in and already put out before Easter. There are beautiful strands with square wooden beads, or beautiful bead strands with square wooden beads with starfish that are such good quality. There is also a large glass starfish that would be great for a tablescape or a patio. As the store manager was putting out the items, shoppers were reaching around her before she could even finish stocking them. Next, I'm taking two of the paint sticks, and instead of using a measurement, I'm going to take the paint stick and line it up with the top and bottom edges of the picture. That way I have an exact, or somewhat of an exact measurement. I wanted these frames to have a beachy type, washed out, worn look, so I didn't mind that they were not so perfect. Also, sometimes the DollarTree pictures aren't always square, and sometimes may be different from picture to picture. And off camera, I just repeated the same steps with the other picture. I was able to get some of the glare off this picture so that you can see it without being blinded by the shine. This is a close-up of the almost finished frame. I coated them with Mod Podge and I let them dry overnight so that they were nice and secure. I used some of the square beads from that bead garland from the Dollar Tree to make a hanger for the one picture. I used the jute twine from the existing hanger and then the hanger from the other picture as a guide for measurement. The second picture already had round beads on the hanger when I bought it, and I am hanging them together on the same wall, so I wanted them to look like they somewhat go together. I can't boast enough about the quality of the items in this collection. The beads are by far some of the most beautiful items I've seen at the Dollar Tree. For only $1.25 a strand, this is such a bargain. They are already made into garland for us, and the possibility with these are endless. I'm going to use them in the iridescent shell that I bought from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put sea glass in it, sand dollars, and the bead garland all into the shell. It should look great. Next, I'm stringing the beads after I used my special measure strategy of not so perfect. I counted out 6 beads, and before I put them on, I taped the end of the string with Scotch tape to make it easier to thread. The hole in the bead is also large, which helps when you're using the jute twine. With the stars, you need to use a skinnier string because the openings are smaller. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to finish putting the beads on and see if the handles look somewhat similar. I counted the 6 and I think they look perfect. I think I might remove the jute twine hanger that is already fastened to the back. I don't know, we'll see how strong it is and if we need it. I think it will look nice with just the bead strand hanger alone. I wasn't sure how I was going to tie off the ends of the jute twine. I was trying a knot so the beads would not slide down, but I changed my mind and decided to just knot the very ends. It was just a matter of untying the knot and tying it again towards the ends. I am going to hot glue them anyway onto the back of the picture, so that should keep them from sliding down. Next, I'll flip the picture over and glue the beaded hanger to the back of the picture. You can see I used the fabric Modge Podge again on the back of the picture. I did 3 heavy coats, one going one way and then the other going the other way, and so on. I'm going to leave the hot glue from when I glued the stir stick showing because it will be on the back. If I was making this for someone, I would cover that up with ribbon or something like fabric or wood. I'm just using the hot glue for now to glue the hanger on, but I will see how it does outside, and if it is not looking stable, I'll reinforce it with the Dollar Tree Super Gel Glue. These wooden words are awesome. They're about 1.5 inches thick and they're close to 11 inches long. It looks like they are cut out of melamine with a wood veneer front. But still, if you bought these online or in the store, they would be crazy expensive. This is another great buy and I just didn't want to pass it up. They would go great on a mantle, a front porch, or a shelf in an office where you would be reminded to take a deep breath. Deep breaths are cleansing and sometimes we all need it. I'm going to be putting this on a shelf and sometimes I use the drawers under it and it may rock the shelf and it could fall. So I'm putting the wood on the bottom to keep it from falling when I open the drawers. I'm taking one of the leftover stir sticks and I'm going to use that as a stand. Then I'll use some hot glue to secure it to the stir stick and just press and hold it into place. I did the same thing with the relax sign. I found an old piece of trim molding in the garage and I used that for the bottom. I'm going to be putting that on a table on my back patio and sometimes it could get windy out there, so I needed something wider than the stir stick. I'll take 10 to 15 minutes, take some deep breaths and just listen to the breeze. And setting up special areas for yourself around your home can be very therapeutic. We don't always need a long time to relax and get away from it all. We could take a short amount of time and get the same effect. It can't be a beach-themed patio without drinks, so we can use these miniature wooden pallets from DollarTree. I took the little wooden cubes from the crafter's square and hot glued them on the bottom on all 4 corners to elevate them up a bit. I didn't seal them because they're good to absorb the condensation from the drink cup. I didn't put any vinyl on them either. I think a stenciled seashell or starfish would look perfect. Next, we'll be making a wreath. The round signs from the Seaside collection are about 12 inches in diameter, and they're perfect for a foam wreath form. I got the wreath form for $1.49. It was in the damage bin because it was split all the way through. Another good score. I would have used some DollarTree duct tape, but what I had on hand was this very strong duct tape. It's sticky and it took a little bit to get it wrapped up. It looks bad, but I'm going to paint it and cover it with burlap ribbon. To paint the wreath, I'll mix brown and ivory Craft Smart paint to get close to the color of burlap. If you don't have one of these, the DollarTree will have the metal wreath form sometimes, or you could use a pool noodle. It's just going to take a little more time or a little bit more ribbon to cover it. I painted the wreath front and back with a couple of coats and sealed it with my favorite fabric Modge Podge and let it dry overnight. This wreath will go outside, but the Modge Podge could probably be skipped if it is staying inside. I had some DollarTree ribbon in my stash and I'll be wrapping the wreath with that. I ended up using 3 rolls. To attach the ribbon to the wreath, I'm not going to use any glue. I want to be able to reuse my ribbon in another craft when I'm finished with this one. I like to recycle craft supplies as much as I can, especially wooden ribbon. Even when I use vinyl or paper, I'll cut into the corners, saving as much of the sheet as possible. I even have separate labeled accordion type folders for scrap pieces. You never know when you just need a little bit or just a certain color. I will be using T-pins, which I got from Walmart years ago, to attach this ribbon. I will start at the top of the back of the wreath and wrap the ribbon around a little at a time. When I get to the end of the first roll of the ribbon, I'll make sure it stops on the back of the wreath so you can't see it. I'll fold over the end and use a couple of T-pins to secure it. Sometimes you might have to just cut a little bit off, but not too often. If you use the T-pins, just make sure you're putting it into the thick part of the foam and not close to the edge. The pins are long, but they can go right through the edge and stick you. When you attach the second roll of the ribbon, fold it over the same way and then use a T-pin to hold it in place. I tried using one T-pin for the end and beginning of both ribbons, but I felt it was not very secure, so I just used one T-pin for the end of each ribbon. When you finish wrapping the ribbon, cut it and fold it over and secure it with a T-pin. Make sure the entire wreath is covered and the ribbon is nice and tight and your wreath is ready for the next step. The 12-inch diameter sign will fit just right in the wreath. I did more of my Modge Podge treatment on the front and back. Since the jute twine holder is only one strand, I'm going to need to make that hanger more durable. I'm going to make a thicker holder with jute twine, and I am tucking in the other string with T-pins just in case I take it apart and use it with another craft. I have stucco, so I'll have to put a screw in the stucco to attach it to the outside wall. So the wreath will not blow around out there. I used ribbon with T-pins and hot glue. Next, we need a bow for our wreath. And I am by no means a champion of bows. So I'm going to make this bow as simple as possible for myself. These seem to work better for me. First, what I'll do is I fold the ribbon to see how big I want to make the loops. After I get these loops eyeballed and measured out, and also after I get this ribbon somewhat under control, I'll take a couple of times, look for the center, and then, check it, recheck it a few times, just so I know where I am. Then, after I get those size of those loops that I'm going to make, I make them into an accordion type shape. For the middle of the bow, I will fold some jute twine into a loop. I'll wrap the jute twine around the middle of the bow 4 or 5 times, and then I'll tie a knot. I make a loop with a long end and a short end so that I'll have some extra left over to tie the knot, and then tighten the center of the bow and then cut off the excess twine. I have this starfish from the Seaside collection, and I think it'll look nice right in the middle of the bow. The starfish go quick, so if you see any at your store, you may want to grab some just to have for other crafts. I'm going to use my hot glue gun to glue it on, and after it's secured, I'm just going to fluff up the bow, and I think it looks great. Next, we will make the tails of the bow, or at least I think they're called tails. Comment down below and let me know if these are called tails or what they're called. I'm not sure. I just cut a small piece of ribbon and then I folded it into, folded it to find the middle. And then what I'll do is I'll just give it a twist in the middle so that both sides show. You'll see the polka dots on both sides. And I forget sometimes that this ribbon is only printed on one side. Another thing that I see crafters do is twist the ribbon when they make the actual bow, and then they'll do a little slit on each side to sort of pinch it in. And there's so many possibilities when it comes to making bows. It's just amazing. To get the tails fastened to the bow, I use the jute twine that's left over from wrapping the bow, or I'll just cut a new piece and then I'll tie the tails on with that. I am using the jute twine from DollarTree, and I usually just grab an extra roll when I'm there so that I always have it on hand. I seem to use it a lot in my crafts. And this way I can get the tails right where I want them, and I can get them to lay flat, and then since the ribbon is wired, I can bend and mold them right where I want them. And if they don't cooperate, then I'll pin them or just use a dab of hot glue. Then, when it's the way I want it, I will cut the ends at an angle. And just to get the angle right, I'll fold it over in half, and then I can see the direction to cut that angle. And here is our bow. You can tie the bow onto the wreath or even hot glue it, but I'm going to use T-pins to fasten it on. And what I'll do is I'll line up the pins vertically in towards the center of the bow and try to hide them as much as I can. And then next we'll center the bow and just do some checking to make sure our bow is in the center. And I'll give this a light spray with some clear coat. I usually have that Rust-Oleum 2X brand on hand, but also the ribbon can be coated with my favorite Modge Podge for fabric. or a type of Scotchgard treatment to coat the ribbon to make it last outside a little bit longer would be great. And what we'll do next is make a more durable jute twine hanger. After I got an idea how long I wanted the hanger to be, I looped the twine around 4 times. I tied a big knot at the end and then I hot glued it into place with a lot of hot glue. If it needs any more, I'll get some of that DollarTree gel super glue to reinforce it so the wreath doesn't fall down. I don't have any E6000 glue on hand, and I really don't like how it smells. The smell just lingers, so I typically use the DollarTree super gel glue when I can. And there you have it, an upgrade to an already awesome round DollarTree sign. And if you stay a little longer, I'll show you what I did with the crafts we just made together. Hey guys, crafting and DIYing is a great outlet for stress and anxiety, along with meditation, manifestation, and mindfulness. I have a free downloadable meditation guide that I'm going to put in the description link down below. It has helped me tremendously, and I just wanted to share it with you. It will be in PDF format, so you'll have to use a PDF reader or something like Adobe or whatever you use to view documents like that. I'm also working on an Amazon logbook for meditation, and when I finish it, I'm going to put it on Amazon.com, and I'll put that link in the description for you below. Thanks for watching my video today. I appreciate you so very much. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I will see you in the next one.